is Gold Run, which was a super rich creek. And where it dumped into Dominion, I'm guessing was, in this area right here.
Out in the Yukon, Parker Schnabel's crew digs through the dirt for gold, working non-stop in a much less shiny place than it looks on TV.
I think it's definitely going to come down to the wire for sure.
Right. We worked real hard. We worked together, and hopefully the results will show that.
They make about $34 an hour, which sounds okay until you realize they're under the hot sun for 12 hours every day. By the end of the mining season, they take home just $40,000 after all the taxes and living costs. It's tough, really tough. What if I told you they just hit something big? Join us to find out what's lurking behind their latest, most shocking discovery: the hidden struggles of Parker's crew. Parker Schnabel's Yukon mining operations may look glamorous on TV, but the reality for the crew working behind the scenes is far from it.
It's definitely frustrating whenever we're down. We give or take lose about $25 a minute whenever this thing is down.
As they dig through dirt around the clock in the unforgiving Klondike, the pay they receive is a hot topic, especially considering the dangers and the intense physical demands of their work. Fans of the popular Discovery Channel series Gold Rush are captivated by the large amounts of gold unearthed each episode, but the actual compensation for the crew doesn't quite match up to the gold's luster. Parker has been quite open about what his crew earns, which provides some insight into the financial aspects of gold mining. However, the numbers might raise some eyebrows. New miners in his crew who put their health and safety on the line every day are paid about CAD 34 per hour. This rate may not sound bad at first, but given the tough nature of the work, it appears quite modest. These workers endure long hours under the harsh summer sun of the north, working 12-hour shifts from early morning until evening, taking full advantage of the long daylight hours provided by the northern location. Over a mining season of about 25 weeks, a worker might earn approximately CAD 65,000. But this isn't the whole story. Once you account for taxes and the basic living expenses at the mining camp, the actual take-home pay is much closer to CAD 40,000. This figure might make one reconsider the allure of such a rugged job, which is portrayed as highly rewarding on the show. As the mining season progresses and daylight hours decrease, the shift timings adjust slightly, but the demanding nature of the work does not let up. The work remains grueling, and while Parker is known to give bonuses to his standout workers, the starting pay for most doesn't see significant increases. This highlights the tough reality of manual labor, where the hard conditions on the ground often dampen the allure of potential riches.
So right now we're just throwing everybody and all the equipment at that end of the cot, trying to get Lucifer going.
During these challenging work conditions are the machine operators, the unsung heroes of the mining operation. They operate large rock trucks, specifically caterpillars that can carry up to 50 tons of ore at a time to the processing plants. Their continuous trips are crucial for meeting Schnabel's ambitious gold production targets. While their expertise is undeniable and critical, it's suggested that only a few of these skilled operators might earn close to six figures. A substantial amount, certainly, but one that's hard-earned through continuous backbreaking work. This scenario sheds light on the often overlooked aspects of gold mining, an industry celebrated for its final product, rather than the labor-intensive process required to produce it. Parker's openness about wages does little to alleviate the realization that the profits from mining are not as evenly distributed among those who do the bulk of the physical work. It highlights a stark imbalance, a common theme in the industry, where many work extremely hard so that a few can reap the majority of the financial rewards. As viewers tune in each week, drawn by the drama of the dig, they may now view the show with a deeper understanding and possibly a bit of skepticism, wondering whether the gleam of gold justifies the hardships endured. It's important to remember that the salary figures we discuss, especially for jobs like mining, are just average estimates and not exact numbers.
I enjoy it. They're big Tonka toys, you know? Tonka toys in your backyard and getting paid for it. Perfect.
All right, we just need to pick the speed up now.
Yeah, is that where you're at? I'll get there, Parker.
Let's do this.
Salaries for beginners can vary widely, influenced by personal experience and undisclosed bonuses. Moreover, these figures might be presented in Canadian dollars instead of US dollars, adding another layer of complexity. Let's see how Parker started young and dreamed big. The financial highs and lows of Parker Schnabel. When examining Parker Schnabel's financial journey, we delve into his early experiences at the Big Nugget Mine, a business originally owned by his grandfather. From a very young age, Parker showed a remarkable ability to operate large machinery, skills he displayed long before he was tall enough to reach the pedals comfortably. This early start in the business raises questions about how much he earned during those formative years, and how his wealth has grown over time. Born in the cold, remote town of Haines, Alaska on July 22, 1994, Parker's career in mining began at his family's business. There, he quickly made a name for himself, building up to a reported net worth of $15 million. This impressive sum comes not only from his physical labor in the mines, but also from his role in the public eye on reality television. Parker's pay per episode of the show ranges from $10,000 to $25,000. When added up, it's reported that he makes over $1 million a year just from his television appearances. This makes one wonder if the financial rewards from the show are enough compensation for the exhaustive hours and the constant public attention. Throughout his career, which includes starring in over 330 episodes of Gold Rush and its various spin-offs, Parker has mined approximately 60 pounds of gold in a single season. By age 24, he had mined gold worth more than $16 million. These figures, however, don't take into account the many costs associated with mining, such as paying his crew, maintaining equipment, and the environmental impact of his operations. His collection of luxury and classic cars, including models like the Ford F-150 Raptor and a 1967 Ford Mustang GT500, suggests a lavish lifestyle, but also hints at high expenses. In addition to his television fame and mining achievements, Parker has expanded his business ventures.
I don't want to downsize. You know, we've spent so many years building up to a size of company where I really enjoy it. We make good money.
He owns a mining company, has started a line of mining equipment, and has written books like Gold Rush, My Story, and Parker Schnabel's Gold Rush, Alaska, which offer a glimpse into his life as a miner. These efforts portray him as a shrewd businessman, as well as a skilled miner. As we explore Parker Schnabel's financial story, it becomes clear that the reality TV glamour and the physical gold only partially depict his life. In fact, mining involves grueling hours and significant physical demands, all under the constant gaze of television cameras. This leads us to consider what the true cost of mining gold is, both financially and personally, and whether the allure of gold can truly make up for the tough realities of its acquisition. Those considering a similar path must prepare not just for the punishing work schedule and repetitive tasks, but also for navigating the vast space between the public persona and the private challenges of such a lifestyle. Parker, a driven gold miner, recently claimed that he dug up nearly 7,000 ounces of gold valued at around $12.8 million. With just a few days left in his mining season, he's pushing his team hard. He wants them to gather as much gold as quickly as possible. The plan is to make a lot of money fast, so they can afford to do it all over again next year, just before the harsh Yukon winter sets in. Yet even with these impressive numbers, Parker is under a lot of stress. He needs an additional 350 ounces of gold to beat his own record, a daunting challenge with time running out. He depends on Tyson Lee, his factory manager, and Mitch Blaschke, his top technician and trusted advisor. Mitch reveals that they have spent more this year than last, over $5.4 million, and they haven't even made their money back from their work at Mud Mountain. Now, watch Parker and his crew face make-or-break challenges, the last gold rush of the season. Still, Parker and his team remain hopeful. The drilling might be nearly over, but they're not giving up. Mitch, together with operator Damon Brown, is set to haul the last of the valuable gold-laden dirt. They face tight deadlines and need to make the final payment for their big machine, Big Red. It's a critical moment, and as they get ready to wrap up at Mud Mountain, Mitch celebrates Damon's hard work and suggests it might be time to stop operations. Their celebration at shutting down Big Red is brief. They won't know if they've succeeded until Chris finishes the final cleanup. After a season full of heavy spending, Parker warns his team that their gold haul might be small. This bad news forces them to think fast about what to do next. Determined, Parker suggests looking for one more quick opportunity to gather gold to compensate for their low yield, still chasing the ghost of last year's 7,500-ounce record. Earlier, Mitch's decision to mine under a road at the airfield brought in a significant find of 281.50 ounces. Motivated by this success, Parker decides to move a wash plant to this promising area near the river. As they make preparations, Mitch gets his team ready for another intense effort. Parker remarks that they'll be cleaning gold again because there's still a chance to turn things around this season. His comment reflects a mix of hope and the tough reality of gold mining, a constant push to find more gold despite the ongoing expenses and challenges. Each day is filled with hard work and little rest as the season progresses. The team's dynamics are tested as they navigate the ups and downs of mining. They share moments of triumph and tension, reflecting the real-life struggles and successes of chasing gold in the wilderness.
Reinforcement so you can speed it up, but yeah, timeline's blown up. This isn't nearly what we thought it was, huh?
The work is hard and the days are long, but the dream of striking it rich keeps them going. They laugh, they argue, and they work together, knowing that every ounce of gold they find is a step closer to their goal, but also a reminder of the huge costs they face. The disaster that struck Big Red's pipeline was nothing short of a major disaster, caused by the rough handling of a bulldozer. This wasn't just a minor mishap. It was a severe break that tore the pipeline in two, causing a massive release of water from the wash facility. Nona, who was in charge of the operation, immediately called for help as the system lost precious resources rapidly.
You can see here, the dozer snagged this, ripped the pipeline right in half. When this pulled, it ripped everything from the wash plant loose.
The destruction was brutal. The bulldozer didn't just catch the pipeline, it brutally ripped it apart. The most significant damage was to the manifold at the wash plant, a crucial point that directed the flow of water to the pre-wash area. Now destroyed, this piece of equipment resulted in a complete stop of water flow, cutting off the essential supply needed for the operation to continue. Described as the worst possible situation at that time, the crisis deepened as the system began to fail. Mitch, tasked with managing this emergency, found himself facing the difficult job of repairing the damaged system. He had to disconnect a bypass system that had been controlling the water flow efficiently until now, and then strip down the manifold hoses. After removing the damaged parts, Mitch had to hastily reattach them, trying to restore some semblance of order to the water flow. These hasty repairs were risky. They might cause the water pressure to spike, which could be too forceful for the sluice boxes, potentially washing away not only dirt, but also valuable gold. Next, a big crisis puts Parker's team to the test. The turbulent race for gold. Before the freeze, with the clock ticking, Mitch and his team worked against time. Every hour of downtime meant losing thousands of dollars. After 4 strenuous hours filled with intense manual labor and quick thinking, they managed to patch the pipeline back together, a process that felt less like skilled engineering and more like a desperate act of survival. In a final attempt to get things back on track, Mitch rigged a flexible hose from the main water supply directly to the wash plant. This was an emergency solution to try and maintain control over the water pressure without the usual pathways. This move was a gamble, hoping that the plant could operate on just the strength of the pump's water pressure. When water finally began flowing through the reconfigured system, there was a mix of relief and anxiety. The plant had lost about $30,000 in gold, a significant financial hit for any operation. Yet, with the water moving again, there was a chance to make up for some of the losses. Despite the jury-rigged setup, and the system's now irregular function. The catastrophe at Big Red's pipeline served as a harsh lesson in the challenges of managing large-scale industrial operations. It highlighted how quickly things could go wrong, and the intense pressure to correct them with limited resources and under time constraints. This incident was not just about the physical damage to a pipeline, but also a reminder of the continuous battle against mechanical wear and the unpredictable elements of managing a dynamic and demanding environment. Parker was rushing against time, trying to pull out as much gold as possible before the harsh Alaskan winter made the ground impenetrable. He was more determined than ever, operating his heavy machinery with a sort of desperate energy. His goal was to beat last year's record of 7,504 ounces of gold, a target that seemed almost too ambitious given the current circumstances.
100, 140, 170, 200, 225.95.
Yeah. Good job, you guys.
Nona, typically a steadying presence at the site, was unusually hard on herself. She seemed to carry a heavy burden, perhaps blaming herself for their struggles to keep up with their gold targets. This added tension only heightened the frantic pace at the mine. Every day brought new challenges. The team frequently had to stop and start the pumps to address mechanical issues that cropped up. Justin, in an attempt to maximize output, had overloaded the system. The distribution box was jammed with dirt, causing a significant bottleneck. The flow of water and dirt through the sluice lines, normally a smooth operation, was now a sluggish mess. Parker's ambition pushed everyone to their limits. He needed the operation to produce 420 ounces of gold each week to stay on track. When they fell short, the pressure mounted. After repairing the jammed system, the first weigh-in showed a dismal 115.4 ounces, far below expectations. This small amount made the $5 million he had invested in Mud Mountain seem like a risky bet. The pursuit of gold was more than a job. It had become a personal challenge for Parker, almost a battle against nature itself. He often spoke about the need for reclamation, the process of restoring the mined land. He knew it was essential for the future of their operations, but the urgency to extract gold seemed to overshadow the importance of environmental responsibility. The team's mood swung wildly with the ups and downs of their gold production. Parker's relentless drive was both a source of motivation and a constant reminder of the immense challenges they faced. The work was exhausting, and the pressure to not just meet, but exceed their gold targets was intense. As winter approaches, see if Parker can beat the odds. Chasing ghosts of gold in forgotten lands. As the season neared its end, the strain of the unmet expectations was evident. The team needed a significant turnaround to make the season profitable. Each day of mining was a struggle, a hard fight against the elements and their own limits. The series of events at the mine was a vivid illustration of the gamble that gold mining can be. Every ounce of gold they extracted was hard-won, a small victory, in a much larger battle that was fraught with both financial risks and personal challenges. The dream of surpassing last year's gold record seemed increasingly out of reach as the winter drew closer, threatening to halt their operations entirely. Parker and his team's relentless pursuit of gold had become a consuming quest. It was a constant race against time, the elements, and their own expectations. As they pushed forward, each member of the team had to confront not only the physical challenges of mining, but also the mental and emotional toll of their high-stakes endeavor. Tyson Lee and foreman Mitch Blass arrived at the start of the gold mining season, which seemed almost too perfect, like something out of a movie. Parker casually mentioned to Ken that the team had managed Big Red very well, a comment that might make you think the whole thing was just for show. Parker pointed out how well Mitch and Brennan usually worked together, but this time it was Tyson who took center stage. It appears as if the real focus might be more on getting attention than mining gold. The scene on Ken's land, which hadn't produced gold in 40 years, was described as thrilling. Such a choice of words suggests an effort to hook viewers with the idea of overcoming great odds. Parker shared that they were starting the season 900 ounces short of last year's gold count. Both mining plants needed to average 235 ounces just to match last year's figures, a goal that seemed just out of reach but kept the audience guessing. As the gold was poured for weighing, Parker dramatically called for someone to yell out the numbers. The first batch from Big Red weighed in at 208 ounces, slightly below what was hoped, but enough to keep viewers interested. The second batch was better, at 263.8 ounces, bringing in nearly $475,000. Parker announced that Big Red had caught them up, a line that felt more like a cue for applause than a simple update, keeping viewers on the edge of their seats for what might happen next. These moments, filled with the anticipation of striking it rich, are perfect for keeping viewers coming back for more. The show cleverly turns the hard work of gold mining into a series of exciting, lucrative moments. This portrayal makes the job seem like a constant adventure rather than the tough, often mundane reality it is. It also conveniently overlooks the environmental damage caused by mining. As the season unfolds, each episode builds on this tension, blending real efforts with staged drama, making you wonder how much is genuine and how much is just for entertainment. The emphasis on dramatic gold weighs and the constant reminder of last season's benchmarks add a competitive edge to the show. It's not just about mining, it's about outdoing past achievements and expectations. The miners are portrayed as heroes in a high-stakes game, battling not just nature, but the legacy of their own past successes. This crafted narrative isn't just about the actual ounces of gold found, but about crafting a story that captivates and keeps the audience tuning in, week after week, eager to see if these miners will meet their lofty goals or fall short, adding to the suspense and drama that makes the show a hit. What do you think? Is the dramatization of gold mining on TV justified entertainment or misleading exploitation? Like, comment, and subscribe for more insights and discussions.